All business actions that have been conducted under my leadership have been ethical.
All right, that was Dr. Shawn Joseph back in March of 2019 in what proved to be his final remarks to the school board as superintendent in Nashville, Tennessee.
Just 2 weeks later, board members voted to buy out the remainder of Joseph's contract, paying him more than $250,000 to leave the job with more than a year left on his contract. Now, he's been selected to head up Maryland's second largest school district. That's Prince George's County right here. I-Team investigator John Barr has been looking into Joseph's professional past, and he joins us now here in studio with more. John?
Well, Scott, this is Shawn Joseph's first full week on the job in Prince George's County. Tonight, though, we're looking back at his time as superintendent in Nashville, Tennessee. The first person you're going to hear from in this report is an attorney named Amy Frog. Frog served on the Nashville School Board from 2012 to 2020. Ending her tenure as board chair. She initially supported Joseph's hiring as Nashville's first black director of schools in June 2016. But Frog tells us she developed serious concerns about Joseph's leadership and ethics. She spoke exclusively with the 7 News I-Team. Knowing what you now know, would you hire Shawn Joseph to run your school district?
Absolutely not.
Within months of Shawn Joseph's hiring in Nashville, Tennessee, former school board member Amy Frog says she started hearing concerns from school employees about poor morale, contracts negotiated by Joseph without board oversight, and the mishandling of reports of sexual harassment.
We had extraordinary problems with sexual harassment under Dr. Joseph's leadership. I had one complaint that was brought to me directly, so I took it to Dr. Joseph himself, and he ignored my request.
The I-Team reviewed the lawsuit to which Frog is referring.
I do not tolerate sexual harassment at all.
Joseph laid the blame for the mishandling of 10 sexual harassment cases during his tenure on a human resources administrator. But a lawyer with the Tennessee State Board of Education told the I-Team that in September 2018, the board became aware of Dr. Joseph's alleged failure to report licensed educators for, among other things, allegations of inappropriate communication or contact of a sexual nature. Then, in November 2019, without admission of any wrongful conduct or violation of law, Dr. Joseph voluntarily surrendered his educator license.
I regret that these matters were mishandled, and I want the state board to know that we have taken corrective action.
Joseph also came under fire for his relationship with a company called Performance Matters, which sells student data tracking software.
Imagine a world where students are fully engaged and take personal ownership of their learning.
This was a company for which he had been a keynote speaker at their conferences, and he had been on their promotional ads. Ultimately, our school board gave Performance Matters 2 different contracts in the amount of $1.8 million. And a few years later, no one could account for how that money was spent.
To try to make the argument that because I've worked with the company in an ethical and professional way in an environment that had better results than we have, and to try to paint those actions as illegal or unethical is just insulting.
That was Joseph in March 2019. This was Joseph last Friday.
I did not come to Prince George's County to relive old battles. I actually came to build a brighter future.
In a room filled with his supporters, Joseph seemed determined to take control of the narrative about his years in Nashville.
Did my team, including myself, make some mistakes? Absolutely. Was I ever found to be committed to doing anything wrong or having any disciplinary action by a board? The answer to that is no.
Joseph declined the I-Team's request for a sit-down interview to discuss his time in Nashville. But his office did provide a statement which includes his thoughts about Amy Frog. I'm incredibly proud of the work we accomplished during my time leading Metro Nashville Public Schools. Unfortunately, that progress was overshadowed at times by the racially motivated actions of one former board member, Amy Frog. Her repeated public misrepresentations and personal attacks created a toxic environment.
It's an easy cover to say it was racially motivated. It's just not true that was the impetus to get rid of him. There's a very real possibility that you will end up back in that position if Dr. Joseph takes the helm of the school district.
In a brief interview on 7 News at 6 a.m. this week, Joseph cited improvements in reading and math scores and higher graduation rates in Nashville schools while he was in charge. Amy Froeg, in contrast, says the number of low-performing schools within the Nashville School District doubled on Joseph's watch. Scott and Josh, obviously two very distinctly different narratives about his time in Nashville.
I'd say so.
Yeah, great information, good digging there, John. Keep it up. I'm sure there's more to follow there.